Ever wanted to travel around the Middle East? Let us bring you around the beautiful city of Riyadh, the capital of Saudi Arabia. Let's start with first talking about the architecture there.
Most major characteristics of Riyadh architecture is merging modern and traditional Islamic styles. The modern part is regular geometric shape, simple lines, sharp edges, glass windows, and advertisement billboards. The historical part is the lotus petal shaped decorations on the walls and outside the shops. The buildings alongside the rows of field floors and materials of mud and clay. For the buildings in the commercial center would be the skyscrapers, and the materials are using steel bars and enhanced glass windows. The historical heritage is Almasmak Castle. It occupies a prominent place in history. It represents the blessed march that led to the foundation and unification of Islamic kingdom. Musmak in the name means thick, high, and fortified. It was built during 1299 to 1315. It was a depot before and now is a heritage landmark which promotes tourism. It is a red room with many pillars and shapes for the Holy Queen, Mary. Here is the appearance of the castle. It was made by clay and mud, and we can see a two water tower of the side. Also, we can see this picture with a door made of wood, which is very traditional Islamic style. For the sitting place, which is a saloon, is made of many Western styles. For example, the sofa, the pattern is very Western styles and modern, and also the decorations are very modern too. For the watchtowers, there are four corners of Almasmak Castle, which called the Almobra. This means a square, and it overlooks the palace through the upper balcony. The stairs leading to the first floor and the roofs. There are three residential units. The first is the residence for the ruler. The second was used as the treasury, and the third is specified for the guest. We can see that the Islamic culture is very emphasized on the safety of rulers, treasury, and the guest. For the
Of our city tour is the Murabba Palace, which is only about half a mile away from our first stop. It was built by King Abdulaziz in 1936 and was completed in 1945. It was intended to be the residence for the Saudi Arabian royal family. This architecture has shown a mixture of historical architectural style and modern building technology. The construction of the palace had introduced three modern technologies into the Saudi society for the first time: the use of automobile for transportation, electricity as power generator, and water closets with drainage system. The building is 2 stories high and has 32 rooms. It was a cubic-shaped architecture in overall. Most of its parts presented themselves in a square or rectangular shape. The architecture used to serve as a residence for a royal family. It also includes certain service facilities and diwans, which is a type of audience hall. This is the gate of the Murabba Palace. The palace is surrounded by a huge brick wall with 9 gates. The main gate was originally on the west side, but then the gate on the southern side became the main entrance instead. The main reason for that is the southern gate was much closer to a nearby mosque. The design of the building adopted a symmetrical structure with a natural lighting design. Abundant amount of sunlight covers the whole palace. You can hardly find a dark corner in the palace during daytime. There are also lots of doors to separate different sections of the palace. The Murabba Palace today no longer serves as a residence for the royal family. It was renovated in 1999 to become a museum that is open for public visit, and is part of the King Abdulaziz Historical Center today. The ground floor is used as the guard's room and warehouse to store food, coffee, wood, and other materials used for cooking. The upper floor consists of salons and visitors' waiting room. Some garments and crafts that were worn or used by the royal family are being exhibited as well. Our next stop is the Tuareg Palace. It was built in 1985 and had won the Aga Khan Award for its design in 1998. It serves as a venue for government functions, cultural festivals, and state receptions. The Saudi government aims to promote Saudi culture to the international world and boost cultural interaction and communication between Saudi Arabia and the world. The design of the Tuareg Palace adopted lots of spine and tent shapes. It has combined traditional solidity and openness with modern technology. It was built with the idea of oasis in the desert, as Riyadh is a city built in the desert. The building consists of curve-shaped complex planes that gradually reduces into exterior walls to form a hollow area underneath, which is known as the backbone. Three Teflon fiberglass and two cable networks are hung on the upper level of the complex. The walls are made with reinforced concrete. The white tents are made of fiberglass fabric coated with Teflon. An additional layer of thin membrane coated fiberglass is added to help protect the structure against high temperature in the summer. Stores which are on the side facing the garden are covered with glass tiles with drawers.
Let's take a look at another example, which is the Al-Rajhi Grand Mosque. It is the largest mosque in the city, and other function is an Islamic institution. We can see that many families would take their own children to the large mosque for the prayers and the institutions. This is a tower, and we can see that the people there are wearing the traditional clothing and go inside the mosque. Which the Friday prayers are translated into 7 different languages and for the hearing impaired through multiple LCD screens. There is also 2 libraries and forensic science course. It has an 18,000 person capacity for men's hall and 2015 for the women's area. That's a small conclusion on Riyadh's historical heritage. It respects the traditional cultures which preserve the building's appearance and rules. It takes into account to human life in modern times. It changed the usage to a more widely used, for example, institutions and tourist spots. It also considers history and the environment, like using natural materials and many plants surrounded. The architecture reflects the culture of one place too. There's unequal treatment between male and female. Males has lower social states.
Next up, let's talk about something everyone loves: food. There are many mouth-watering dishes in Riyadh. Also, Saudi food is considered as something to die for, according to the Saudi people. Let's talk about one of the favorites, murtabak. So what is a murtabak? A murtabak is a spicy folded omelette pancake with bits of vegetables. It can also have meat in it. Mostly, people eat murtabaks for breakfast. So, how is a murtabak made? To make a murtabak, we need to use a pancake dough. First, make a pancake dough into a thin square shape and pan fry it. Later, take another pancake dough, make it into a bigger size, and put the pre-pan fried dough into it. Then, choose the ingredients you want in your pancake and put in the smaller dough. You can have egg, you can have chicken, or you can have any type of vegetables in it. After putting the ingredients into your pancake, then you have to fold it. Fold it into a square shape and be careful, it might break because it is thin. Then put a little oil on the pan and pan fry it. Pan fry it for a while, and later you can serve this murtabak as breakfast for people. There we go. That's how a murtabak is made, a Saudi breakfast. Now let's move on to what they have for lunch. Here is something that can be eaten as lunch or dinner in Riyadh, actually all around the Middle East. People living in Middle East love a special type of rice called the basmati rice. The texture is way different from what we have here in Hong Kong. So how do we make a basic kabsa? You put basmati rice into water, then you let them soak for 20 to 25 minutes. Then you can add a mixture of onion, garlic, ginger, and later adding some green chili, cinnamon, and bay leaves for the flavor. The Arabic people love having different type of flavors. Afterwards, you put the meat in it, the most important part, and you stir it. Then, what else is that the Arabic people love different type of seasoning. They put cumin powder, red chili, black pepper, paprika powder, coriander powder into the chicken and cook it. For the base of the water, for the rice to cook, they would add tomato sauce and tomato paste. Afterwards, they would add some water and let it cook for 1 to 2 hours. Then, they would take the meat out and put rice into the bowl and let the rice cook. After the rice are completely cooked, they would add back the lamb into the rice and which will make it a beautiful kabsa. This is what Arabic people will have for their lunch or dinner. In the end, they would add some almond, cashew nuts, and raisins for the rice, and here we go, a kabsa. Now, moving on to something sweet, muhalabi. It is also known as mahalabi or mahalapi. What is it? It's a milk-based thickening with rice flour or cornstarch with a sweet syrup on top of it. Why is it named Mohalabi? Legend has it that Mohalabi was introduced in the late 17th century by a cook who was to serve an Arabic general by the name of Al-Muhalabi bin Ab Suraf. He liked it so much, he named the dish after him. So, how do we make it? We first put milk, then we put some rose water, and then we add the cornstarch and stir it until it's smooth. Afterwards, we put some more milk, and then we put some heavy cream, and we mix the cornstarch mixture we made earlier together and heat it, and simmer the mixture until the whole mixture thickens. Afterwards, you can pour it into any kind of serving dish and try to cool the mahalabi down to room temperature. Afterwards, cover it with a plastic wrap and put it into the refrigerator for 4 hours or overnight. Now, moving on to how to make the sweet syrup. We add water, sugar, and some rose water, and then we boil it. Then we add the food coloring we want, which color we want, into the water, and we let it cool down completely. In the meanwhile, we can have some fruits, and we can cut the fruits, or we can cut peanuts or cashew nuts to add on to the mahalabi. Take the mixture out of the refrigerator and then add the syrup onto the mixture. Then, afterwards, we can add some dried coconut onto it, and we can put our dry fruits, the ones we cut before, onto the mahalabi. And here we have it. It's a proper made, sweet Arabic dessert, a mahalabi.